be going live here now. Hopefully we are. Yeah, looks like we are. Wacky, whoa. By the way, if you are here right now and you're watching this stream, thank you so much for watching the stream. Go ahead and hit that like button. Let's try and also share this with as many people as we possibly can so we can go ahead and have a good conversation tonight. I want to just talk about all kinds of different stuff tonight. So again, go ahead and hit that like button, share it with your friends. I much appreciate it. That isn't even proper English, but that's okay. I'm going to pull up your guys' chat as usual in a manner in which I can get to your chats quicker because, yeah, the YouTube chat system in the live menu sucks. But all right, yeah, it looks like we got some people in the chat already. Joshua FN, yeah, hello. And then we got Noodles. He says hi. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and have a bit of a talk with everyone tonight. We're gonna be answering a bunch of questions. We're gonna be talking about Intel, Nvidia, AMD, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, be sure to like this video so that Nvidia and AMD get more stock as always. Evening all, says Neil Augard. We got Taya Awesome 111 in the chat again. Sour Fries Budgie, I need a GPU, lol, he says. I think I'm going to be talking a bit about some options we have on the table here for GPUs. We're definitely going to be talking about the GPU scene. As always, I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on that. So we'll be doing that in just a little bit here. But Fred M in the chat, Neil Augard, Viking pronounced Ogard. Ah, Ogard, I see, Neil Ogard. Shirley Savage says, do you think you will be switching to Intel GPU after releases for my personal rig? No, just because unless it does some sort of magic for video editing, there's no reason to go from like a flagship NVIDIA card down to like a mid-tier. That doesn't really make sense. Now on my girlfriend's PC, yeah, I might be doing that. So that's a good option there. We got Greg Tay, good morning from the East. Wow, it's morning for you guys. All right. All right. Ah, yes, my nemesis. My 1050 Ti is broken. It blue screens. Any tips to fix it? So if I were you, I would go ahead and check to make sure that your power supply is good first. Obviously, that's going to be a much cheaper component to replace, especially if it's a low wattage. I'd also make sure that all your cables are seated properly, your drivers are installed properly, potentially reinstall your drivers. Try underclocking the core and memory to see if that helps. If none of that stuff helps and it's like truly you know for sure it's the card, realistically the only other option you have, unless you're good with soldering and checking the board, is to basically take the cooler off and put it in the oven. I know it sounds crazy, but it does work for some people, but that's like a last resort type of thing. Honestly, you'd be better off trying to RMA it with the company first so that you don't, end up destroying it to a point where it's just nothing can be done about it. Josh says, I'm going to go insane. Curmudgeon, try different cables. That was a problem in a build I was working on recently. Yeah, definitely try different cables as well. 350 watts CPU and GPU is the norm now. Rolling on the floor laughing. Yeah, this Intel CPU, guys, it's looking like it's going to be hot stuff, baby. Yeah, baby. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of edit the stream title. And we're going to do something like this. We're going to call it 12. We're going to call it GPU stock 12900K and next gen. Let's do that. I think that will be, because we're going to be talking about all that stuff. All right. There we go. All right. That should do it. Because, yeah, we're going to be talking about all that sort of stuff. So I felt like the original title was a little too vague. Aloha from Hawaii. Congrats on 75K. Yeah, it's pretty wild. We already hit 75K. That being said, by the way, if you are watching this stream and for whatever reason you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you are subscribed, make sure that you have all notifications enabled. So hit the bell icon and enable all notifications so you see every single upload so that you get the choice to watch the video or not, rather than YouTube choosing for you. Let's see. Could you title it? Yeah, baby, we're talking tech. Yeah, baby. Woo! Woo! It's Saturday, baby. Woo! How many WPM do you type typically? Words per minute? I honestly haven't checked that in a long time. It depends. Sometimes I'm like feeling off and I'm just typing terribly, and then sometimes it's really all over the place. My Yogi Ryota says already subscribed with notifications. Well, awesome stuff. Hashtag yeah baby. Woo! Yeah baby. It's Saturday night, baby. Dude, it's 5 a.m. for me. I am half dead. Dude, that is wild. You're up at 5 a.m.? That's crazy. Yeah, baby, with the B. That's not how the B meme works. You guys know that. What are your thoughts on supercards? Just want to know. Yeah, they exist. They're probably going to get released before Intel Arc, but we don't know for sure. We don't know for sure at the moment. So we'll see for sure, but that's all I know at the moment. Let's try this, guys. GPU. Okay, I'm changing the title real quick. GPU stock update. Let's do that. Date 12900K and next gen Nvidia GPU. Let's make it a little bit more. Let's make it a little bit more precise here. All right, we got people in the chat here. Okay, I'm going to be answering some questions starting now. You're soundproofing in all room. Yeah, for sure. It's all around me. It's like that you go in the theaters and it's like all around you. That's what it's like in here. Josh says, I was hoping to get to the Best Buy, get my hands at least a 3060 or 3080. I have the money for. Well, there should be more drops coming, and I definitely will be notifying you guys when those drops do happen. Do your Darth Vader voice right now? I don't know. I've never tried that. I can try it, I guess. What's something he says again? Oh yeah, there's that one line that's pretty famous where he goes, "Pray I do not change it further." Every Best Buy drop, the cards stay in stock longer. Yeah, the Best Buy drops have been getting better. You have a good chance of finding a stray GPU or two at Best Buys. You just gotta ask. Yeah, every now and then they might, if you're lucky. We'll see. We will see. You were the first to tip off the Best Buy drop on YouTube for sure. Yeah, no one else was there first on YouTube for sure. I just want to make sure people knew about it a couple days in advance so they had some, time to think about that. But it was a bit risky because there was a chance it could have been false. There was a chance, but with the info that I saw, I was like, no, this drop's happening. It's happening. I got shown some stuff where I was like, oh yeah, it's happening. Which Best Buy? There was over 100 Best Buy locations that had a pretty big drop. Pickle Nation says, I'm here, Papa Challenged. I can vouch because that's how I got my 3070 Ti. Yeah, the Best Buy drops are the best too because you actually get the MSRP, which is pretty fantastic. By the way, it looks like we're getting more people into the stream now. If you do like the stream, go ahead, hit that like button and share this with your friends as well so we can go ahead and get this out to more people. Let's see, when should we go from waiting for current gen stock to waiting for next gen stock? To be honest with you, it's kind of sounding like there's a chance we might actually get next gen a little bit quicker. So we'll see. I don't know for sure, but we will see. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. I have a big Best Buy in just a couple miles from me. I wish I had jumped on it because it sounds like they had almost 200 cards. What scared me off is you weren't sure if they were Founders Edition cards. Yeah, it sounds like they're usually Founders Edition. So that's pretty epic. Epic, haha. Do you think the next gen will have actual entry-level graphics cards? It depends on when they release. Do you honestly believe that the GPU situation will get better until December? It's going to slowly improve every month that goes by, but realistically, until mining goes away, you're not going to see MSRP. When is that going to happen? Depends on when that next EIP drops realistically, because We could be seeing the GPU situation like tomorrow. The U.S. government could ban it. Everyone could just suddenly sell all their stock in crypto, and you could have GPUs everywhere. They could be everywhere. But realistically, that's something that we can't know for sure if or when that will happen. So the only thing I can say for sure is wait for EIP 3554. The last I heard, it was coming in December. I know there was recently talk of they basically voted against bringing in proof of stake at the end of this year. So proof of stake got pushed back again. And if proof of stake got pushed back, this EIP might get pushed back too. It might end up getting pushed back into like Q1 of 2022. I hope that's not the case, but it could happen. And if that's the case, then there's another month or two you gotta wait. Maybe even 3 months. We'll see. So we'll see what happens. Ivan Yoon says mining is not going to go away, right? We have been talking about it for years. Well, when we say mining going away, the only way mining's going away for sure, like completely, is if it gets banned. When we say mining going away, we're talking about it gets to a level where, like, it's not nearly as popular as it is now. Mining was around for the last 5 years or whatever, but after the 2018 boom, it wasn't an issue. Like, people weren't going out and buying hundreds or thousands of cards at a time. It wasn't really a big issue. But now, recently, it's become a big issue again. Edgy Bloke, hey, you made it. There's Shrek in the chat. We got Edgy Bloke talking about binding, bringing in the B meme already. Yeah, things are already getting out of control. Oh, man, we're already getting out of control here, guys. Let's see. People have already tried banning things a computer can do. What would be different about mining? The thing that would be different about mining is that the U.S. government doesn't stand to gain anything realistically for cryptocurrencies existing because they can't control it as well. They can tax you. They're taxing you right now if you do it, but they don't have as much control over it as they do with the U.S. dollar. So that's why most governments really don't like it. The question is, are they going to ban it? I don't know. That's something that nobody knows. Jesus. I can't believe they let you put that in the chat, Edgy. That's wild. Let's see. Would you recommend the Deep Cool Matrix 40 as a first case? I've honestly never seen it, so I can't tell you on that one. Francesca Smarzowski says, honestly, I'm kind of desperate. I had my parts picked up already to buy, but I decided to wait one day, and then that happened. A lot of hate for miners when the real issue is silicon shortage. No, that's... The real issue, I'm telling you, the real issue is not the. There is, in fact, I'll go so far as to say that there is no silicon shortage. Not when it comes to GPUs. There's abundant silicon. They are cranking out silicon like they never have before. We're talking about TSMC is running all of their fabs at max capacity at all times. They're not even doing maintenance on any of them. It's the most they've ever produced. The same goes for Samsung. The same goes for GlowFlow. There's no shortage. There's just an excess of demand. Now, some of that demand definitely came from gamers. There's been a huge spike in gamers. But, at this point, over 50% of gamers have been able to get their hands on a next-generation card, according to various different polls that I've seen online, as well as ones that I've personally conducted myself. The only real issue I think that's stopping you from being able to get your hands on cards at this point is the mining, because the mining is basically, as long as it stays profitable and they continue to buy more and more cards, that demand's never going down. At a certain point, all the gamers are going to be satisfied. They're going to get their hands on, one GPU apiece. A miner will never be satisfied. They'll continue to buy more and more and more and more. So, no, there's no shortage going on right now. Yes, shipping's more expensive because there's a lot of stuff being shipped right now because people are staying home more. So shipping's gone up, and that will affect the price a little bit, but not really. We're talking about a handful of dollars here per product. People talk about metals being more expensive. That's just ridiculous. We're talking about like $1 or $2 per card when you talk about the actual metals themselves. A 10% increase in silicon, as reported by TSMC, is, again, basically nothing. We're talking about like $5 per product. So when you add everything up, all these shortages and stuff going on, it's total BS. People are charging more money because they can. They're charging more money because you're buying it at more. That goes for miners. That goes for gamers. Like, if you want cards to go down in price, stop buying them. There you go. Like, if mining wasn't around right now, the demand would be so much less that you'd probably be seeing cards close to their MSRP at the moment. So, Budgie says, GC, do you watch any tech news like Moore's Law is dead or TechLinked? Not really. Like, every once in a while I'll watch TechLinked. But when you kind of do it yourself, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to watch other people do it. I mean, from time to time, if they've got something exclusive or something, yeah, I'll give it a look. If I'm missing out on something, but typically if someone made a video, I already knew about it. So I do watch tech channels though. I'll watch like Hardware Unbox from time to time. You know, when they do some sort of review on certain products, stuff like that. But let's see. Miner deniers are so funny to me. Of course mining is an issue for the GP market. Yeah, like, it's so obvious. Like, why would you even deny it? It's so ridiculous. Like, back in 2018. Oh, so you're telling me in 2018 that it was a silicon shortage that caused the 1080 Ti to go to $1,200? Really? Is that what you're going to tell me? Is that why Radeon cards you couldn't find anywhere? And then all of a sudden, as soon as mining went down, cards were all over the market in 2018. Oh, but it has nothing to do with mining, doesn't it? No, nothing to do with mining. I mean, it makes no sense. It literally makes no sense whatsoever. Like, have some spine and have some decency and just be like, yeah, like, even if you are mining, just be like, yeah, I'm buying cards. Yeah. Like, at least own up to it. I mean, Christ, what's the point of lying about it? It makes no sense. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's so dumb. Edgy Bloke says, Bobby. I think he's talking about Hobby Lobby. Hobby Bobby. Let's see. Can you mine on any GPU? Basically, as long as it has over 4 gigabytes of VRAM on Ethereum, yes. Let's see. At least you guys in the US are able to get MSRP cards in Best Buy. We get nothing here in Asia. All are only selling with pre-builts and scalpers price. By the way, I do have some good news. I'm going to make a whole video on this, you guys, but 500,000 GPUs might be finding their way onto the market in this upcoming month. 500,000. That's wild. That's insane. Because a major Chinese mining place just got access to their cards back. I can't remember if it was another company or the Chinese government that had taken it from them, and then they won them back in a lawsuit. Well, they can't mine on them. So what are they going to do? They're going to sell them. So 500,000, it was 485,000 GPUs are going to be on the market pretty soon. That's a lot. It's a lot of GPUs. I think it was mostly Radeon. So that's crazy. It was their landlord. They had to sue to get them back. That's wild. Those China 500K GPU RX 470, do you still want it? Yeah. I mean, if there are RX 470s and they're like a good price, heck yeah. Just flooding the market with 500,000 GPUs, that is crazy. That's going to help a lot. That's good. Because there's a lot of people who have no option, especially at the entry level right now. That's going to be a huge help. So, hey, get ready, baby. Yeah. 484,990 GPUs for miners and 10 for Best Buy drops. No one outside of China is going to see those GPUs. That's not true. It'll be more expensive to ship them to the U.S., but you will see them on like U.S. retailers as well as eBay. So, yeah, I think it is mostly RX 470, but I didn't see a breakdown of all the GPUs. I don't know for sure. So we'll see there. I just want to either get a new 3070 at MSRP or a used 3060 at a decent price at this point. Let's see. Micro centers actually aren't that common. They're only a handful of states. Yeah, there's not a lot of them. John Haidema says, love you. When did you come up with your intro to videos? I think it was like years ago at this point. Is the 3070 a huge performance increase over my current 2070? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Apache says, Bitcoin biners. 3080 for 10K in Europe. I could build 3 setups for that much. You could build more than that. That's wild. That's insane. I live in New Hampshire. There is no micro centers. Yeah, there's no micro centers where I live either. So I feel your pain. It sucks. I'm on a 960. Braz, thanks for the constant update videos. Well, thank you so much for watching. Is that a Asus logo you have as well? I think that is. Oh, man. 3070 is supposed to be on par with a 2080 Ti, slightly below 2080 Ti, but close. Actually, I think the 3070 now, after new drivers, is like a few percent faster than a 2080 Ti on average. But you got to keep in mind, the 2080 Ti has more overclocking headroom and an additional 3 gigabytes of VRAM. Personally, I'd rather have the 2080 Ti. Do your subscribers really need high-performance GPUs? What CPUs are they using? Yeah, it seems like a good amount of subscribers are very interested in high-performance GPUs, like 3070 and up, or 3060 Ti and up. There's definitely a lot of people looking at GPUs lower than that as well, but it seems like there's quite a bit. CPUs, I would imagine most people are running fairly modern, like Ryzen processors seems to be the most common around here. Let's see. Anthony Hernandez says, just want to stop by and say thank you for your videos regarding GPU market. You have been informative and you do not clickbait. All right, well, thank you. Joshua Richer says 10900K. Yeah, 10900K is a great. Yeah, let me know your guys. What CPU are you running? Put it in the comments right now. I'm interested to see what everyone's running. Go ahead and throw that in the comments. Let's see here. What's up with that 3090 Super? It's expensive. That's what's up. It probably exists. I don't know if they'll bring it out. I would assume they might as well, so I assume they will. All right, we got 10700K, 3600, 10400, 5900X, 10850K, 3600, 8700K, 9600K, 10850, 3600. So we got a lot of very high performance CPUs here. Like the lowest tier I've seen is 1700X. That's still a good CPU. So yeah, that's good. We got a lot of people with very high performance CPUs. All right, we got our first super chat here. Thank you so much, Adam Viskovich, for the $5. He says, should I start mining? I have an RX 5700 XT and GTX 1660. Is it worth it to just join in and stop fighting? I mean, if you have them in your computer and you don't care about the power draw, I know there's a lot of people. I definitely don't like the idea of how much power it draws as well. I get it. But there's a lot of people out there who are they're very environmentalist and they don't want to be sucking up power for no reason. I get it. And if you don't want to do it for those reasons, hey, that's perfectly fine. If you're someone who you're just looking at it from a dollar perspective, realistically, if you walk away from your computer, as long as you're home, I'm not sure if I do recommend running computers while you're not home, simply because, I mean, if you're okay with it, sure, go for it. But for me, that makes me a little bit nervous because, if something goes wrong, or you have a bad power supply or something, you could have something like blow out, you could have a fire go. It's a possibility. It's probably not going to happen, but it could happen. There's a small chance it could happen. And if that is the case, then you're not there to put out the fire. So that's why I don't like leaving stuff running when I'm gone. But if you don't care, or if you're work from home or something, and you're not using your computer and you got a 5700 XT, yeah, you might as well, I suppose, if you don't care about the power draw, because you're going to make a lot more money than you are going to spend in power. So, and it's not like it's going to make the mining situation worse. You're not buying more GPUs. You're just using your current GPU. In fact, it'll, in theory, make the mining situation better because the more people who mine, technically, the difficulty goes up and makes it harder for people to make more money. So if you have them and you're just sitting there and they're not being used and you want to do it and you want to make a couple bucks, go for it. All right, we got another super chat coming in from It's the Stargazer. Thank you so much for the $5. Hi, where's the kitties? Also, where can I get merch? Oh yeah, we do have a merch store, by the way. It's graphically-challenge.com. I'll go ahead and just get you guys a link in the comments here. So you can go ahead and check it out if you want. We got a limited edition run of shirts right now. Once this design is gone, it's gone for good. So just keep that in mind. They are 20% off at the moment. The next thing I'm going to have going up there is going to be mouse pads, because I think there's more interest in mouse pads. So this is just a recent thing I started. Once these are gone, they're gone for good. Eventually, I'll probably have new design for shirts in the future. I don't know. I think the next thing is going to be mouse pads, though. And we will see scalp his merch. That's just dirty. That's so bad. All right, let's see what we got here, though. We got another super chat coming in from Edgy Bloke. He, thank you so much for the $2. He says, "Sussy balls." All right. Not sure what that's in reference to. Nice image there, too. That is a classic. But thank you, everyone, so much for the super chats. By the way, if you do a super chat during this live stream and you want access to the private Discord, just go ahead and shoot me a message after the live stream is done. I'll get you that link. Let's see. Dark Jedi Master says, will we see MSRP next year? Is Q1 or Q2? Like I said, I can't tell you guys 100% for sure when you will see MSRP. I mean, technically you see MSRP now. If you go to a Best Buy, you can potentially have the chance, if you line up, to get an MSRP card. They exist. You're probably asking more the question of, when can I just walk into store, any store, and buy it whenever I want? I can't give you that answer. What I can tell you is there is an EIP 3554 that should make it harder to mine Ethereum that was supposed to come in December. I'm not sure if it's hitting in December or Q1 of 2022 at this point, because they did move off proof of stake, and this was supposed to come right before proof of stake. I haven't seen anything about the actual EIP being delayed yet, so I'm just going to say December is still, from what I know, it's still coming in December, it sounds like. But it could end up getting delayed a few months, so we'll see. That's the only hard thing I can give you to tell you for sure that when it's going to have a big downturn. See, Rob R says, is Threadripper worth the waste of money? It really depends on what you're doing with it. I mean, if you're gaming, absolutely not. If you're doing some sort of 3D modeling, it could be. Or you need a bunch of PCIe expansion for some reason, it could be. Apache says, I bought my GPU from my neighbors and they said it's called the ball torturer. What the heck? Doesn't even make any sense. One core Threadripper, there you go. Special video for 75K subs? No, but maybe at 100. If we can hit 100,000, then maybe I'll do a special video for that. That might be something. 75K is a pretty big milestone, I'll tell you that much. I will tell you that much. All right, let's see. Ever had a GPU get fried? Me personally, no, but I have known people who have. So, 3090 and quad SLI for solitaire. There you go. You got it. You got it figured out. Yeah, I can't find it online. Jeez. There's so many B's in the chat. Let's see. Keep up the good work, says Husky. Well, thank you. Let's see. Is RTX 3060 enough for 2K video editing? I would say so, yeah. My local Best Buy pretty much looks like fries right now. Nothing in that place. I bought my GPU from a sussy boy. My Best Buy handed out vouchers the night before the drop because they don't like people camping out all night. That's pretty funny. That's funny. You think Best Buy will have another drop? Yes, they will. Abu Shan says, best wishes for 75K subs. Well, thank you. And Rob R says, no, I'm just wondering, I'm only using my PC strictly for gaming. Okay. 12700K or 12900K. Personally, I'd say 10700K is going to be probably the better go-to. But I think I'll be moving to a 12900K, not because I think it's going to be significantly better, but because of DDR5. And not because I think that's going to have a big impact, but because it's going to be new technology that I can potentially make videos on, do overclocking content, that sort of stuff. I heard Best Buy is predicted to have another drop on August 31st. That would be pretty cool. Unfortunately, I can never go to any of these drops because the closest Best Buy that does them for me is like 3 hours drive, and I'm not doing that. That's just insane. Let's see. 3080 Ti will do great for 1080 gaming and streams, but I would go for 1440p game and 1080p stream. It'll look much better, and it can handle it. Yeah, you're probably right there. What's the 75K special? Oh, this is just a special stream because we just hit 75,000 subs. So there you go. Let's see. Is it worth to buy a GPU at end of 2021 or better to wait until slowly back to MSRP? Just if you can get something at MSRP, I think is worth it basically at any point in time. Neil Ogard says, "Where do you live?" Clicks pen. Let's see. Will game makers keep up with these FSR, DLSS, and Intel's new performance technology? I'm sure they'll be able to get at least one of the three in for a majority of these big games, would be my guess. Dude, I got my 3070 because of your announcement about Best Buy, so thank you for your first job. I'm donating, bro. Well, thank you so much. Awesome. 6900 XT at $1,400. I'd say no. That's way too expensive. I want a 20 series graphics card. Used the only way to get one? Is used the only way to get one? I think so. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Let's see. Thoughts on Intel GPU. Will it be viable with the driver's performance and potential to help the GPU demand? I think it'll help for sure. Should I wait for new AMD CPU or smash my grandma? What the heck? What? Doesn't even make any sense. That's insane. All right, let's see. 6900 XT is overpriced at MSRP, to be honest. Yeah, you're kind of right on that one. Does anyone know where I can get MSRP Founders Edition GPU in Europe without bots? I don't know about that. It sounds like it's hard outside the US. Shrek says, wow, that's edgy. Illicit, hey, at Graphically Challenged, why can't Radeon or Nvidia just put their cards at MSRP to uppercut their competitor? Well, they can't make enough to satisfy mining and gamers at the same time right now, so let's see. Damn, dude, what do you live in the middle of nowhere? No, this just the Best Buys near me don't participate in the big drops for whatever reason. So that's just how it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. By the way, if you guys want to talk about a little bit of tech drama right now, I'm gonna talk about a little bit of tech drama real quick here. So recently, Linus did a paid sponsored video for Aorus and their 4K OLED display. Now, here's what I'll say about this 4K display. It didn't impress me at all. It's $1,500, way too expensive for what you're getting. From what I can tell from the specs, now I could be wrong. It could be based off of the C1 OLED. If it is based off the C1 OLED, it's only a little bit of a ripoff. It's $200 more for basically a DisplayPort input, which is just stupid. If it's based off of the C10 OLED from last year, which I believe it is, you're basically paying... well, it is 48-inch, so it could be based off the C1, but if it's based off the C10, which it could be, you're basically paying $500 more for a DisplayPort? That's just silly. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say it's based off the C1 panel. That thing is $1,300 right now. You really want to spend $200 more to get a DisplayPort and some more gamery look on the display? Well, anyway, Linus made this video and basically made it seem as though it's a better option than getting an LG OLED. Well, LG makes the panel. Why would you spend $200 more for a DisplayPort? And in the video, he goes ahead and uses DisplayPort 1.4 over HDMI 2.1. HDMI 2.1 has more bandwidth. So, like, what? He didn't even know how to properly use the display, which is just mind-blowing. So he hooks it up to an RTX 30 series card and uses DisplayPort 1.4 and uses display stream compression to get 120 hertz at 4K when he could have just used HDMI 2.1 and had 120 hertz with no compression. That's like what the heck? So he basically, I don't know, in my opinion, it was stupid. I didn't like the video. I watched through it hoping that it was going to have some technology I didn't know about. Nope. It's basically a rebranded LG display for way more money that he didn't outright say was a better option, but he basically made a whole video saying, he basically said without saying, get this instead. So I have a problem with that because you're basically misleading, hundreds of thousands of people into believing something's better than it really is and potentially misleading thousands of people into buying a product of lesser quality or that's just way more expensive than it should be. Because why? Because you got a free display and they paid you? That's just ridiculous. I mean, come on, man. You got 10 million subscribers? Do you really need? I get they pay him like $10,000 per advertisement, but do you really need that extra 10K? Do you really? That's to me, that was just like, really? Come on. That's just outrageous. There's just no way that he actually believes that display was better. There's no way he does. That's just ridiculous. Do you go to heaven after buying a 3090? No, you don't. I think he mentioned previously that sponsored videos aren't reviews and people need to start considering them ads. Yeah, they're basically ads. That's all it is. But the problem I have with it is it's basically it's created in a way to seem as though it's it's a review, and it's really misleading. It's screwed up in my opinion. So I don't think that's just not right. Let's see. If 4080, what are you guys talking about? It's time for that good old water, though, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, selling out. That's the newest thing on YouTube. Well, newest. It's been around for a while, let's be honest. I feel like most channels just turned into like the home shopping network at this point. Like you go to watch a video and you're like, oh, they're doing a review, and you're like, oh no. This is literally a 10-minute ad. Okay. It's like every video they're put out, which is just, and it's always like really misleading. You know, if you're going to do a sponsored video, cool. If you love the product and they sponsor you to make a video and you love it and you explain why you love it, that's awesome. That's cool. But when you know the product's not good and you're just doing a whole video on, like an entire video, basically trying to trick people into buying it, you're just doing it because they paid you, that's just not right. That's outrageous. Can't wait to buy the RTX 5090 for MSRP. Yeah, assuming you can. We'll see. You guys want to talk about GPU stock though? Let's get some stuff in the chat here, guys. Let me know in the chat. Just start putting in the chat. You want to talk about GPU stock? You want to talk about the 12900K, or do you want to talk about next gen? Just put it in the chat. And I'll scroll down and read them. But first, we got a super chat coming in from Aiden. Thank you so much for the $10. He says, kind of disappointing to be honest. I just got my hands on a 3090 Founders Edition, and I have had a 5950X sitting on my desk for 3 months. Looks like it's going to be outdated by the time I put it together. Well, it won't be outdated quite yet, but in not too long, it won't be the fastest anymore. That's for sure. Shrek says 5090 is the MSRP. All right, let's see what we got in the chat here. Yes. Let's see. To be honest, if you had your name, most of us would slobber all over mediocre offerings. Yeah, people send me all kinds of crap. They want me to do full video reviews all the time, and I just say no, like almost all the time. Now, I'll do like a quick 30-second ad for stuff, like if I think it's actually decent. Now, if someone sends me something and it's bad, like it's actually bad, I will contact them and I'll be like, I'm sorry, I can't, I'm going to ship this back to you. Like, I'm not doing this. But I haven't had that happen much at all. Like, usually the stuff people send me is like, hey, this is actually surprisingly good. Is it the best thing I've ever used? No, but it's also really cheap, so the value is there. So I usually end up, I only, accept stuff that actually is good. So, or looks good to me at least. And then I test it before I even shoot the ad. Let's see. What are people saying what they want to talk about here? Let's see. Should I wait for RTX 4000 series or just give up on the 3000? I mean, only get 3000 series if you can get it at a good price. And if you can never get it, then I guess wait for 4000. But don't crack and buy a 3080 for $3,000. It's ridiculous. Which, by the way, the 3080 non-LHR, or sorry, 3080 LHR, it's actually not that horrible anymore. I think it's like $1,200 or $1,300. The non-LHR is like $1,800. So, but it's not mining. It's not mining, but somehow the non-limited cards for mining are twice as expensive. 50% is more expensive. But it's not mining. It's not mining. Oh, yeah, sure, fella. Sure, pal, fella. But thank you again, Aiden, for the $10. By the way, if you do want to get access to the Discord, if you do a super chat during the stream, just get a hold of me after the stream and I'll get you that link. Thank you guys, everyone, for doing super chats tonight. That's super awesome. We are celebrating 75,000 subscribers tonight, so that is pretty awesome here. I think next gen is going to be really exciting. We do have some CPUs coming out here soon too, so that's going to be exciting as well. But next gen, yeah. That's gonna be some big stuff, big guys. There's gonna be some real big guys. Let's see. So GPU stock, next gen, GPU stock, next gen. Let's see. Let's see. Zotac is our only hope. Let's see. So it looks like people want to talk about GPU stock and next gen mostly, and we'll talk about 12900K later. But we'll see about that. Okay, which custom water cooling company is the best no matter the price? I don't know for sure. I think they all have their like pros and cons. I kind of liked Corsair from a perspective of if you're a first-time water cooler because they make it a lot easier to pick the parts you want. I know a lot of people really like EK. I know there's some really good parts there as well, but I also know there's some other companies. So I don't know if I can tell you for sure which one's like the best, but I do like Corsair from a like if you're a first timer, because they make it easier for first timers if you've never done it before. So that's my answer for that. Dark Jedi Master says, do you think next gen GPU will be better launch and stock? Yes, I do. But here's something that's a little scary, guys. You want to talk about next gen and something that's a little scary? I might talk about this in a video too. Here's something a little scary. The RTX 4090, that might be on TSMC 5 nanometer. So we could be talking AMD and Nvidia on TSMC 5 nanometer. Meanwhile, China's threatening to take over Taiwan. Yeah, that raises some red flags, guys. So I really hope that that's an incorrect rumor. I hope that I really hope that Nvidia sticks with Samsung. I think they need to. If they're going to be pushing out the amount of supply that they want to, I think they need to stick to Samsung. Or if they want to produce one card on TSMC, go for it. One or two cards, but they need to produce everything else on Samsung. Because we cannot have a huge bottleneck at TSMC. That's not going to work out good. But, yeah, that's... when do you expect 4000 series to come out? At the very earliest, mid-2022. I don't think that'll happen. I'm expecting September of 2022. So, probably, a year and a month from now. Which, gosh, that's going by quick. Let's see. Well, if Nvidia sold LHR cards only, there would be a considerable decrease in GPU mining. Yes, there would. In fact, they basically are only selling LHR cards other than the Founders Edition, and they seriously are. They seriously are definitely becoming a lot easier to get your hands on. So, okay. Let's see. Don't make dollars don't make sense. What are you talking about, Brian? Do you think the RTX 3060 is a high-end to mid-range graphics card? I think it's a mid-range. Like, it's solid in the mid-range. They definitely price it like it's mid-range. I'll tell you that much. I wish it was a little faster, though. I feel like the 3060 needs to be 10% faster. That's my opinion on that. It's just a little too slow for what it is. What's the best way to get GPUs at MSRP? Line up outside of Best Buy or be real fast on those notifications? That's my answer for that. Have your phone on you. Have those notifications turned on. Be ready to go at any time. Here, I'll give you a piece of advice. AMD does drops on every Thursday. Those are MSRP. So there you go. They don't have nearly the amount of stock that NVIDIA does, but you're also competing with a lot less people. So it kind of equals out there. I've heard that China is about to have a debt crisis. Well, sucks for them, I guess. I don't I don't know. I don't know how that was going to affect things, to be honest with you. What's your best Ryzen? What's the best Ryzen CPU for the RTX 3060? I'm thinking of getting one. Probably 5600X. Should I get a custom pre-built PC or just build my own? At this point, if you can find a pre-built with a 30 series card for a decent price, do that. Otherwise, just don't build at all. Just wait. If you're desperate, you can buy an Xbox Series S. It's going to be better than cloud gaming. You'll get a better visual quality and lower latency. And you can play AAA games. It does accept mouse and keyboard. Now, not every game uses mouse and keyboard. And I'll be testing. But it's probably your best option if you don't want to, be ripped off right now. I can hear your mining rigs in the background. That's my AC. During videos, I don't turn the AC on. But when I'm doing a live stream, there's no way I could handle sitting here for an hour plus talking without AC. There's no way. There's just not a chance. Yeah, whoever's asking about Nvidia cards, you guys missed your opportunity. Last Thursday, 17,000 units were handed out. Yeah, that was a good drop. 17,000, that's a good drop. I heard about that. So we're making progress here. And the good thing about those Best Buy drops is that they mostly are ending up in the hands of gamers. I mean, what kind of madman would stand outside of a Best Buy for 24 hours to flip a GPU? I mean, yes, granted, for 24 hours of work, you can, in theory, off of a 3090 Founders Edition, you could make $1,000. That's pretty good money. I get it. But that's like a one-time thing. That's not like you're doing that every day, So like scalpers, I don't think there's a huge amount of scalpers in those lines. I mean, you can only get one ticket per person. You can't buy multiple cards. So I have a feeling that most of those cards do end up in the hands of actual gamers, which is good. Let's see. Jeremiah G, thank you so much for the $5. He said, what time do you think I should start camping next time or the Best Buy drop next month? Well, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Personally, I'd say you probably have to show up like the night before or very early in the morning at the least. That's all I can say about that. Get your friends and neighbors to stand in line with you. Yeah, but I mean, come on. How much would you have to be? If someone told me stand in line for 24 hours, I'd be like, all right, if you hand me $1,000, I'm not standing in line for like $50. I got stuff to do. That's just ridiculous. Mining ending this December? Hopefully it does. There are definitely some scalpers in line, but way more gamers. Yeah, I feel like you'd be insane to stand outside just to scalp a G. Like, that just seems like, what? It's like, that's not a good way to make income, to stand outside of a Best Buy one time per month. You're really going to pay your rent, your food, your electricity, everything, selling one card a month? Really? I don't think so. That seems a little ridiculous. See, Aiden says, I know this is a stupid question, but should I return or resell my 3090 for MSRP and wait for 3090 Super? No. Nope. I mean, keep in mind, the 3090 Super might end up not getting released. And you're talking about like a difference of what, 5%? No. Hang on to that 3090, especially if it's Founders Edition. Founders Edition is great. Yeah, 3090 Super will probably also be LHR. Is my guess. So the reason why they're probably going to be releasing a super refresh is for two reasons. One, they're going to the first reason is because they want to take some of the like thunder away from Intel. They want to get that press talking about Nvidia instead of Intel, so they'll release it right before those Intel cards. And the second reason that they probably will be releasing a super series is because, well, then they can release every card as LHR, and it's known that it's LHR. And they'll probably expand LHR to other algorithms as well. So, does LHR affect the gaming performance or just mining? Just mining. It's just mining Ethereum at the moment, I believe. All right, Neil Ogard says, I think the supers are going to be bin silicon and might get a VRAM bump. You might see some VRAM bumps, but I don't like binned silicon, not necessarily. Let's see. Pablo Reyes says, "Hey, why does liking your videos get Nvidia and AMD to release more GPU stocks? Because they watch it, baby." Like, oh, more likes equals more stock. Let's see. Jalen Roebuck, Best Buy drop was lit, to be honest. Would do it again. Is the VG27QL1A good? I haven't had a chance to look at it, so I can't tell you for sure. Yo, other fellow gamers, how risky is it putting a water block in a GPU? Not very risky, to be honest with you. I mean, as long as you don't, like, smash it with a hammer in the middle of doing it. I am Chuckster says, bro, I couldn't wait in line because I don't have a car and I'm broke college kid. Yeah, I can't wait in these lines either. I literally don't have time to do it. I can't drive 3 hours to a Best Buy to do it. It's just not, it's not realistic. And frankly, I don't really need, look, I'd love to have a 3080 Founders Edition so I can take some B-roll of it, but I don't need a 3080 Founders Edition. So I don't need to be standing in a line overnight to do that. Like, I'd love to have more cards so I can take video of them, but I'm not doing crazy stuff to get them. Let's see. Meteor says they've already managed to reduce the efficiency of LHR, so it's 20% less than what it was intended. Well, the thing with the LHR unlocker is that it's like it uses more GPU resources to try and unlock it a little bit. So you end up drawing like way more power to just get a little bit more hash rate. So it's, in a way, it's kind of worse. Like, the mining efficiency is actually worse with the unlocker. But it does technically make more money every day, even though it draws a lot more power. I mean, you go from like 150 watts to 200 watts just to get an additional 20%. And that's not good numbers. The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you. My throat is dry tonight. But all I can tell you is the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at Sacrifice. Disaster. The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for miners this December. Fair didn't know that. I'll tell you what, brother. And the miners, they know. They're not even going to try because they know. You take their 1/3 and 30 seconds chance, and then you minus their 443 seconds chance, and you add my 2/3 and 3 seconds chance, and you're sitting with a negative 1 3/3 chance of being able to mine by this December. And let me tell you, they know. They're not even going to try. I love that video. If you guys haven't seen that video, you got to watch that one. Just look up The Numbers Don't Lie. What a good GPU for casual gamer. If you're in a bind right now, the only GPU I can actually recommend to you is the 1063 gigabyte. It's not at a horrible price. I'd like to see it cheaper, but at $170 on eBay, you could do yourself a lot worse. And it'll get you by. Obtaining anything in the AMD queue is really difficult. I prefer Best Buy drops. I've gotten a 3060 XFX 6600 XT and an Xbox Series X for my son from Best Buy. I got a PS5 and Xbox Series X from Walmart, but it's delayed. Okay. Yeah, if I like this Xbox Series S, I might upgrade to the X if I can get one at a drop. It's hard to get the X. It's easy to get the S. Like, it's so, you can just walk into a store and buy an Xbox Series S right now. It's realistically your best alternative to PC gaming right now. Like, if you're sitting here and you don't have a PC, buy an Xbox Series S and wait. Just wait. Or, like, buy an Xbox Series S and keep trying to buy a GPU. And once you buy the GPU, then buy every other component. And if you don't want the Xbox anymore, then sell it. You'll lose like $50. It's like, you're not going to lose a lot of money. If you're a gamer and looking for a GPU, just buy an inflated GPU price and mine on it. No, I don't think that's a good idea at all. Because not only could mining go away any day, but on top of that, we're also talking about you supporting scalpers. Do you really want to support scalpers? I don't think so. I think you should do your best to avoid paying more than MSRP for any card. I get paying a little bit more than MSRP, like a little bit for an AIB card, but much more than a little bit, and I'm out. On that note, I'm out. Bro, 4 gigabytes of VRAM is excellent. It's good enough for most games. It'll get you by. Buy the Xbox S at Costco and return anytime. I mean, if you buy something from Amazon too, I mean, you could be using it for a while and you could return it, I guess. If you buy a GPU the next day, I don't know how long the Amazon returns go for though. And I don't know if that's necessarily like here's the thing. Just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you should return something. Rob R says I missed his super chat. I'll look for it. But here's the thing. I don't think that you should return items. And the reason why is because it's just not ethical, in my opinion. Like to buy something with the intention of returning it later, like you're not borrowing from them. You're supposed to be buying something from them. So it's just not an ethical way of doing it. Rob R, I can't find your super chat. I scroll back and I can't find anything. So just type it in the comments here, and I'll try and if you can retype it, I'll just read it out. Anthony Hernandez says, kind of an ignorant question, but what's the difference from a Founders Edition card and a card from EVGA or MSI? There's not much, usually just the cooler. Sometimes the VRMs are different, sometimes the power delivery, like really good cards might be able to, might be able to get more power out of them, but it's not a huge difference. Typically, it's not much more than just the cooler. But, yeah. Honestly, Founders Edition cards sometimes have better silicon, though. So I think that Founders Edition cards tend to be the best cards. What is this ethics you speak of? Yeah, no one else practices ethics in the business world. You're not wrong on that. What's the best RTX 3060 to get? I kind of like that Zotac one. It's really over-engineered, to be honest with you. There's a pretty good chance the 12900K won't improve gaming performance, just clocked at 10850K and it's going cheap now. The 12900K is not going to be much faster. People are freaking out about Alder Lake, expecting it to do wild magic stuff. Apparently it's okay. That's not going to happen. Guys, Intel's 10 nanometer process, I can tell you for sure it's not very good, at least in its current state. So if you're expecting a lot, you're going to be disappointed. Alder Lake, I can tell you this for sure. Like, I get emails about stuff, guys, and like, Alder Lake's not going to be that impressive. It's going to be a bump. It'll get them to compete with Zen 3D, but if you're expecting it to like crush Ryzen, ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It will have impressive performance, but it's not going to be this amazing, crazy thing that people are expecting. So just keep that in mind. Don't get too overhyped for Alder Lake. It'll be nice. It'll be cool to have new technologies like DDR5 and PCIe 5, but if you're expecting the world out of it, don't get too excited. Man, Nvidia making silicon sound like it costs more than gold. Dude, silicon is so cheap. It's so cheap. Like, seriously, yeah, they act like everything's so expensive. It's so cheap. Stay away from Gigabyte right now. Yeah, I agree with that. Dude, they're wild. To be honest, the 1650 Super isn't a bad option right now. If you can find it for a decent price, then yes. Sand expensive, Keck. Christian Brown says, will you keep us updated if there's another Best Buy drop? I'll hit that bell icon. Yes, I will. You know I will. You know I'll keep you guys updated. Huh? I don't know why this camera keeps defocusing. Silicon equals sand. Yeah, literally, silicon is sand. So it's literally dirt cheap. It's the process of creating it that's actually the only expensive part. Gigabyte power supply instead of grenade in battle royale games. Yeah, honestly, I should do like a video where it's like the starting a fire speed run. Get a gigabyte power supply with the NZXT riser inside of that airflow case that was just released. What if you're made of sand? Does that make you silicon? I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough, and irritating. What does he say about that? Something like that. This is outrageous. This is unfair. Pickle Nation. That's wild. Why won't Alder Lake be amazing? By the way, Rob R, I can't find your super chat. I didn't see it. So if you can just type it out again, let me know. He did say I'm pumped about Alder Lake and their Arc GPUs. Are you? I'm pumped about their Arc GPUs for sure. I'm excited for Intel Arc. But when it comes to their Alder Lake, I'm going to be moving to Alder Lake, guys. And the only reason I'm doing it is to do DDR5 overclocking. I think that's interesting. But if you're talking about Alder Lake being, like this amazing, crazy CPU, it's not going to do that for you. So it will have the performance crown for a small time until Zen releases Zen 3D about a month later or something like that. And then it's going to be so close it won't matter. But realistically, if you're expecting something crazy out of it, just don't get too excited. It will be cool to have DDR5, though. That's cool. Anyone know a good NVIDIA card to pair with the 5600X? 3060 and up, I'd say. Let's see. Intel CPUs are mostly money grabs. They just changed their name in the same performance overall. Oh, man. They haven't been making much improvements recently, I'll tell you that much. Zen 3D expectations, don't know if it'll be a flat 10% increase, though. 10 to 15% on average. Enjoy that. There you go. And it'll be about on par with Alder Lake. There you go. It's like you can take that to the bank. How fast is DDR5 against DDR4? It can get up to twice as fast, but the problem is the latencies are going to be bad right off the bat. So the more time that goes on, DDR5 will mature and the silicon will get much better. And you will get some very, very fast DDR5 memory. So we'll see what happens there, but right away it's not going to blow you away. But if you buy some good DDR5 right away and you're willing to tighten those timings, I think you'll be able to get some good results out of it. And I'm definitely going to be doing that. I'm going to be tightening those timings like crazy. Raptor Lake, PCIe 5, and DDR5, boom. Everyone ignores that Zen 3D is only the top SKUs. AMD said that from the start. Did they really say that? I thought they were bringing it from 6-core to 16-core. Or are they only doing 8-core to 16-core? I know they're doing 8-core for sure. I mean, so every SKU except for the 6-core then? I don't know. How many people know here about tightening timings and reducing latency within VRAM sticks? I know a lot about it. Within RAM sticks. I know a lot about that. So I will definitely be doing that. But most people don't do that. By the way, thank you everyone so much for watching. If you are watching this stream right now, go ahead and hit that like button. Let's go ahead and get this out. I'm going to do a little bit longer of a stream tonight. So, a little bit longer. So, strap yourself in, baby. We're going. Thank you so much, John York, for the $5. Got another super chat coming in here. He says, tight like a tiger. Actually, I didn't do that right. It's tight like a tiger. I think. It's been a while since I've seen Gold Member. So, yeah, that's a classic. Oh, yeah, that's a keeper. Tight like a tiger. When you coming out with the shot glasses so we can toast during the live chat? Yeah, well, I'm going to be doing other merch, but I think we'll start off with the mouse pads. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments right now. What type of merch would you like to see? Just put it in the comments. I'll read them off. Someone says, do the Joe Swanson voice. Yeah, it's Joe Swanson or Kronk. I prefer to call it the Kronk voice. I just love Kronk. Oh, yeah, it's all coming together. Whoa, didn't see you there. Yep, that's pretty nice. What's some stuff that Kronk says? I can't remember. I can just say that. Let's see. Custom RTX 3090 cards as merch. Yes. I thought 12th gen is coming in September. Wow. The timing is horrible. They got out 10/11 gen CPUs and 400, 500 series motherboards that won't support DDR5 and force people who want DDR5 to rebuild their whole PCs. I'm okay with that. We got one person said mouse pad. Hair shaving stencil. That's just ridiculous. Come on now. Hey, Peter. You got an RTX 30 series yet? Whoa. Any updates on RTX 4000? There has been some updates on it, potentially TSMC 5 nanometer. I'm going to call it right now. Nvidia is not going to make all their GPUs on TSMC. I don't see it. It's not happening. Get that Meridian sponsor. I'll get it. I'll get in on it. I don't even know who Meridian is. When are the supers dropping? Probably Q1 of 2022. So I would expect that. Coffee mug. Okay. Any suggestions / chance when this hell will be over after Ethereum 2.0, or it won't help? Ethereum 2.0 is going to kill mining for a while. In terms, like, mining won't go away completely, but it's not going to be, like, it will not disrupt the flow of GPUs like it is now. So, CPPC Tech says, howdy, bud. It won't help the prices? Oh, yeah, it will. Like, if Ethereum 2.0 comes out, it'll force so many people out of Ethereum. Like, if it goes to proof of stake, it'll force so many people to other altcoins that those altcoins will become, with their lower market share, it'll become so much less profitable that I just don't see people mass mining GPUs anymore. I just don't see it happening. There'll still be some people who do that. It'll still be around. People will still buy GPUs for mining, but it's not going to be anywhere near the amount that's happening right now. Let's see. Thanks for the content, Graphic Challenge. I got to head out. See you, gamers. All right. Well, thank you for stopping by. Yes, but they've delayed that for multiple years at this point. I know. They keep delaying Ethereum 2.0. So who knows when that's going to really happen. It sounds like 2022 now. Maybe Q1. Maybe. I don't know for ETH 2.0. I don't know if we're getting EIP 3554 in December still, or if that'll get delayed to Q1. We'll see. There's been talk of delaying it, but I haven't seen anything official yet. The only thing I've seen is people saying that ETH 2.0 people don't want it yet. That's what I've seen, which kind of makes it sound like EIP 3554 might get delayed too, but I don't know for sure. There's nothing official yet that I've seen. So we'll see on that. I don't know. All Stars Dragon, thank you so much for the $5. He says, so I have a 3080 Ti and it loses performance in some games. I get 4K frame rates at 1080p and 4K performs as expected. I get 4K frame rates at 1080p? That's weird. That doesn't even make any sense. Are you sure you don't have like a frame rate cap enabled? Something like that? Yeah, it could be a CPU bottleneck as well. CPPC Tech just said that. So what CPU do you have? That'll be a good question. But in any case, thank you so much for the $5. We'll see if we can get some more answers to that depending on what CPU you got. And of course, everyone who does a super chat during the live stream, I'll get you that link to the Discord after the show if you get a hold of me. So get a hold of me via Twitter or my email. But yeah, that could be CPU bottleneck, or it could be a frame rate cap that you have on your system. It could be something like that. How's the Senate bill going? I hear it will come up for a vote in September. Okay, that's interesting. We'll see how that affects things. Have you seen any leaked motherboards yet for DDR5? I haven't looked at them yet, but I'll tell you this. I'll be moving to Alder Lake. I'll be buying the best motherboard you can get, the best DDR5 you can get, and we'll be doing some serious DDR5 overclocking. I'll tell you that much. Also, rumors of RDNA 2 refresh. Think there's more Infinity cache and faster memory. My thoughts, 50% more cache would be a huge boon for all SKUs. Interesting. Yeah, I've heard some talk of RDNA 2 refresh. They might do that. They'd be smart. They'd be very smart to do that. But the question is Radeon smart? Is their marketing smart? Their engineers are smart, but is the marketing smart? No. Their marketing doesn't really know what the hell they're doing. So it would be a good opportunity. It'd be smart for them because, like Nvidia, instead of dropping your prices, which looks bad, you can just re-release new products at the same price and still make the same amount of money. So it just makes way more sense. It creates more hype in the industry as well, so it makes way more sense for them to do that. Are they going to do it? I don't know. I have a good feeling about Nvidia doing Super. I've heard a lot of stuff about Super, but AMD doing a refresh, I don't know. we'll see. Maybe they are getting smart now. Maybe they will do that. 3 months of eating only tuna and ramen, and I'm now able to afford a 3060 on eBay. Please don't. Don't do that to yourself. And definitely don't use that money to buy a 3060 on eBay. Huge ripoff. Anything new on RTX 4000? Not like a huge amount of specs or anything, but there's been talk of TSMC 5nm. They might do some like high-end SKUs on TSMC 5nm, but there's just no way that they're going to be doing like all their SKUs on TSMC 5. It's going to be a huge risk for them. They cannot do that. So just expect it to hit Samsung 5nm. That's what I'm saying. That's why we have high prices as scalpers and gamers starving themselves for them to stop. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help. I'm sure he was joking, but I mean, there's a lot of factors playing into why prices are so high, and one of those factors is we do have gamers who are buying stuff overpriced too. It's happening. It's not the whole issue, but it's happening because there's too much demand. So a lot of gamers are breaking down and they're buying stuff on eBay, and it's unfortunate, but it happens. Now, that being said, if there was no mining, then all of a sudden supply would probably be very close to meeting demand. It probably wouldn't quite meet demand yet, but it'd be getting close. And then you'd have a lot less people breaking down and buying it for higher prices. But with demand as high as it is, you got people breaking down and doing that, and unfortunately that just leads to higher and higher prices. So it's unfortunate. So yeah, please do not buy a scalped card on eBay, because scalpers do play into it as well. I don't think they're like the biggest issue in terms of like why you can't buy cards, but they do make it harder. It does suck that people scalp. It sucks, and they make it harder. Cody the Clown, thank you so much for the $5. We got another super chat coming in here. He says, top 5 favorite keyboard switches. Unfortunately, I'm not a huge keyboard buff, so I can't tell you like which switches I like the most. I'm not like super into that, but what I can tell you is that it has to be a mechanical keyboard. And personally, I like keyboards with the escape key right over the tilde now. I used to like them in the corner. I like it right over the tilde now. It's easier to hit it with your fingers, so I like that better. Honestly, if you're looking for a pretty good keyboard for a good price, sometimes EVGA does huge discounts on their Z20 keyboard. If you can find that, do that, because I've been trying this keyboard for a long time and I really like it. The only thing I don't like is there's a third cable attachment for a audio pass-through, and I wish that it was detachable because it just seems a little unnecessary. But it's definitely for the price very good. But thank you again for the super chat. Again, if you do super chat during the stream and you want access to the Discord, just get a hold of me after the show and I'll get you that Discord. Let's see, Intel 13th gen? Geez, that's too far out. I mean, do we really care about CPUs so much that we need to be talking 2 gens away from now? I don't think so. And frankly, I know there are some rumors about like the RX 8000 series. I just know that's too far away. Let's talk about it in a year. That is way too far away. I'm not interested in things that are 2 years away. Way too far away. Will RDNA 2 graphics perform double than Intel UHD 730 when having it as a dedicated streaming PC? Oh, I'm sure it will, because it's going to be perfect when I have 16-core base model for AMD's brand new LGA socket. But yeah, AMD's moving to LGA. Not on Zen 3D, but on Zen 4, so that'll be interesting. RDNA 2 is going to destroy Intel on, like, not their graphics per se, but just on their UHD. And integrated is garbage compared to any dedicated GPU. Just because scalpers are scalping doesn't justify selling your old car for 2x retail from 4 years ago. It just makes you a tool like the scalpers. I don't know. To be honest with you guys, if you've got an old card and you want to sell it, I don't care what you do with your old cards. Now, if you're going out and you're buying cards en masse and trying to flip them for profit, I don't like that. That sucks. That sucks. But I'm not going to, hate on someone for, taking a good opportunity on a card they've having a second system they've had for years. I don't care. You're not, draining the market of cards. I mean, what do you want these people to do? You want them to sell it for under market value? If the market says it's worth a certain amount and they've got an old card and they're trying to get rid of it, it's a little ludicrous to ask someone, be like, oh yeah, that card that you could sell? I mean, look, if they've got a friend and they can do them a solid, hey, that's cool. That's awesome. You can sell your friend a card for a good price. That's great. Great friend. Good on you. But for me to sit here and tell people you're not allowed to sell a card you're not using anymore for more than what it should be, it's like, look, if people are buying a, let's say 1070 for $350 and you bought it for $300, I don't care what you sell it for. I'm not going to demand that you sell it for $250. Not only can I not enforce that, but that's just a little draconian. That's just a little ridiculous. I'm not the, I'm not the SS of the GPU market. Jesus Christ. Selling old GPUs is not scalping. I mean, like, you're not buying it and reselling it. Like, you're not going out and buying GPUs to resell them. It's something you already had, and you're not draining the market. So it's just feeding into the inflated BS market, but I see your point. Well, the problem is, if these people, like, even if this one person who has an old card decides to sell their card for under the market value, it's not going to change the market value. You'd have to convince everyone in the world to sell it for under market value. And then if you do that, there just won't be enough GPUs. So it just doesn't solve anything to tell people not to sell their cards for under market value. It just doesn't help. So I get it sucks that the market decided that an old GPU is worth as much as it is. It's stupid, and I wish people would stop paying it. But it's not going to help for you to list it lower. It literally won't help. Because then there'll be too much demand. So it won't help anyone. So, like, I don't know, Now, what is crappy is when people go out and they find ways to mass purchase GPUs and then immediately flip them online. That sucks. Because you're artificially raising the price by not allowing people to get the chance to buy it at a reasonable price. So that's what I don't like. CPPC Tech says people stand in line at Walmart, GameStop, and Target every week to get Pokemon cards, and they push and fight in line and scalp them on eBay. They've done this since the pandemic. Yeah, it's gotten out of control. Let's see. Nvidia question mark? I have no idea what... You can't just put Nvidia question mark in there. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, huh? Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's see. Someone wants $300 for a 980 Ti. How screwy is that? Yeah, that's insane. Know the current GPU market. What do you recommend besides gaming? Or besides gaming, besides waiting? Here's your options if you don't want to wait. Buy an Xbox Series X or a 1063 gigabyte. Those are the only things I can recommend to you. That's it. Other than that, your only option is to try and, wait outside of a Best Buy or be fast on a GPU drop online. There are your options. So there you go. But hey, here's good news. You're going to have 500,000 GPUs hitting the used market soon. That's insane. 500,000. That's insane. I have two extraordinarily fast 1080 Ti's, the OC, and are stable at 2025 megahertz. Interested in selling them. Price recommendations. Here, if you want to sell them, to a friend for a good price, good on you. If you want to sell them on eBay, just type in 1080 Ti, search by buy it now, sort by lowest price, and undercut the lowest price by a little bit. You'll sell them in no time flat. There you go. That's how you sell a card. Or sell them on RGB swap and sell them for a little bit cheaper, because then you'll you'll pay less fees, and then the buyer can get it for less money. There you go. I'd rather have an RX 574 gigabyte than a 1063 gigabyte if prices are similar. Unfortunately, they're not, because the 4 gigabytes is just enough for it to mine on a lot of currencies. So, yeah. Some mom sold her son's PC on Facebook for $200 to punish him. It had a 1660 Ti in it. Haha. That's so screwed up. That's ridiculous. CPPC Tech says eBay should really step in and stop allowing people to scalp GPUs if they want, but they want that money. Yeah, I'd love for eBay to step in and enforce MSRP. I'd love for them to do that. I'd love it, because it would basically solve the majority of scalping. But they're not going to do it because they make money. So I've even created a petition for them to stop doing it. We had like 2,000 signatures or something, a decent amount. But it's hard to make change like that, you know? I wish they would step in and stop it, but they're not going to. So, and the guy from RGB Swap reached out to me, and he's like, I don't want people to scalp on my website, but I'm worried that if I stop it, people will stop selling on my website. What should I do? And I told him, I was like, look, here's the deal. It sucks that people are scalping cards online. It really does. But you're in a tough situation where you're basically in a lose-lose. You can enforce MSRP and make some people happy, but then there will be no cards on your website. So and they'll all go to eBay, and it'll kill your website. So, because eBay's not going to enforce it. So basically, your only option is just to let the market decide what it wants to do. It sucks, and I wish you could, like a hand of God could come in and stop people from doing that, but you can't. So you just have to let them do what they're going to do. And that's just what it is. Now, I'd love for the U.S. government or eBay to step in and say no more scalping. But they're not going to do it, it sounds like. Now, maybe the U.S. government will. In fact, maybe we should start like trying to, form a petition or something, or a bill or something like that. Didn't Europe do it? Clearly not. Clearly not. I sold my friend from work a 1080 Founders Edition for $150 when I could have sold it for $500 in the market. That's crazy. Yeah, that's a good friend right there. I've definitely helped some friends out as well get cards for much cheaper than I could have sold them for. Because frankly, not only is it nice to help a friend, but it's a business write-off if I don't make money on it. So, like, if I buy a card and shoot B-roll on it, and then afterwards I just sell it to a friend at a loss, I technically haven't made any money on it. So it's just a business expense. I mean, I have to report the money of selling it to a friend, but it's a loss. So it's an expense. So for me, it's a lot easier to sell if I get a card to sell it to a friend at a loss. Didn't U.S. have laws for price gouging like masks at the beginning of the pandemic? It's for essential items only. I'd love to see them expand that into like non-essentials. I absolutely love it. Or just label electronics as essentials, whatever's easier. Whatever's easiest, I want to see them do it. Because I am getting sick and tired of people scalping stuff online. It's not the biggest problem we have, but it's a problem. It does make things harder. Like, look, if you've got a card and you want to sell it for whatever price the market demands, that's cool. There's no reason we should step in and stop you from doing that. But my problem is when people specifically buy out stores of product only to list it online at a higher price. I think that's not only immoral, but I think it's screwed up and it should be illegal. There's no reason whatsoever that you should be stepping in and becoming a middleman between people in the store and making it so they don't have a chance to buy from the store. That's wrong. Now, if you have a 3080 and you buy a 3090 and you sell your 3080 on eBay, I don't care. That's, it's if the market wants more for it, that's fine. That's fine. But if you're going to a store and you found some way, you paid off the clerk or whatever, and you buy them out before it even goes live, You've taken away the chance for people to purchase that product at a reasonable price. You've hoarded them, and now you've forced them to make the decision to buy from you at a higher price or not buy at all. And that's screwed up. That's totally screwed up and wrong, and it should be illegal. It's like just like being forcing. It's like the mafia. It's like the mob. It's seriously like becoming the mob, and it's just so wrong. Now, I'm not saying we should send people to prison for that, but I think there should be fines. Like if you are found selling more than X amount of product over MSRP, you should have like a huge fine from the IRS. Something that makes it so that it's not worth doing. Imagine you're lining in front for an RTX 30 retailer and you see a guy getting out of the store with the whole stock. Yeah. Yeah, that we need to fine people for doing that. That's totally screwed up. It's like I said, it's one thing to sell an old card you have or you sell one because you upgraded. Fine, totally cool. But you're purposefully buying out stores just to become a middleman and like the mob and force people to go through you at a higher price. That's totally wrong. That's just wrong. Didn't stuff like that happen to people hoarding hand sanitizer and toilet paper? They got in trouble? Yeah, because that's even worse. That's just outrageous that you would hoard stuff like that to resell it. That's so bad. That's so bad. How much should I sell my 1080 right now? Like I said, go on eBay, look up 1080. Like if you don't have any friends, you don't want to do them a solid, go on eBay, look up 1080. Lowest price, buy it now. Undercut that. There you go. Only sell on buy it now right now, by the way. If you are going to sell anything on eBay, dude, I had like an old, like before prices got too out of control, I sold like a 1050 Ti on eBay, and I tried doing, people were so mad about people scalping the 3080s that they were trolling people for selling like anything on eBay. I 3 times in a row had no payment on a 1050 Ti for like a pretty reasonable price. And I was like, what the heck? So you do buy it now and they'll pay right away. So if you're selling like an old card you have or something, I was like, come on guys, it's a 1050 Ti. Like this is not like me sitting here, you know, selling a bunch of GPUs. It's a 1050 Ti that I'm trying to get rid of because I have no need for it. And it's a reasonable price. Why are you trying to screw me over? I'm not even like, what are you doing? And this was back when like 3070s were selling for like $700 on eBay. So like, yeah, if you can imagine, the 1050 Ti was not very expensive. I did not like make a bunch of money on that. It's ridiculous. Yeah, just if you are going to sell anything on eBay right now, don't do bidding. Just do buy it now because bidders are the worst. They are the absolute worst. Because every now and then I get rid of like an old card or an old CPU or an old motherboard. And I've had so much bad luck selling on eBay to bidders. They're the worst. They just don't pay half the time. So you just got to do buy it now. I'm going to start selling on RGB swap though when I upgrade. So like when I upgrade, I'll be selling... if my friends don't want it, I'll be selling like my 5950X and my motherboard on RGB swap, that sort of stuff. So, because RGB swap has lower fees, so I might as well do it on there. You can get someone else a better price, and then you have lower fees. Yeah, if you have a bunch of strikes on your account on eBay, they'll ban you. Is there buyer protection on RGB swap? Yes, there is. That's why I'm swapping over to RGB swap. That's funny. Just because there's lower fees. So as a seller on RGB swap, because I upgrade computer parts so often that I have to have a place to offload my old stuff. I can't just have it sit around because I'm not a reviewer, so I don't go back and retest them. So if it doesn't go to a friend or a family member, it has to go on like eBay or it has to go somewhere. I can't just have it sit there and lose value. That would be irresponsible for me as a business. So I have to sell it somewhere. RGB swap has, I think it's like 5% fee versus 12% on eBay. So it's significantly lower. I do ads for them, so next time you see one, go check them out. It just seems like a much better option. Let's see. Should I get Alder Lake? Wait for a new Ryzen. Honestly, I don't think it'll matter. I literally don't think it'll matter which one you buy. I think they'll be so close in performance. You're going to be talking a difference of 5% max. It will not matter which one you get. Ryzen will draw less power. There you go. Do you want something to draw less power or not? Alder Lake be Toilet Lake? Oh my god. See, thanks, man. I'll check it out for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna start offloading my old computer components on there. It's just gonna be an easy way of doing it. If I have to pay, like, I hate paying eBay 12%. That's ridiculous. So, Ryzen has less stable frame rates, though. I haven't found that. I mean, maybe in a couple games that aren't optimized for it or something, but realistically, not really. I've seen plenty of charts. It's very similar minimums. 5800X, but you would need a new motherboard for that. What's the best you can get for your current socket? Okay, they're talking about something. Dude, Alder Lake is going to cost a bajillion times more than the other CPUs. No, I don't think, like, people are talking about Alder Lake costing some insane amount. Alder Lake is going to compete in multi-core performance with the 5950X, and I do believe it's going to be cheaper than the 5950X. So, yes, it's not going to be cheap, but it's not going to be, like, insane as far as I'm aware. I mean, unless they come out with, like, $1,000, I'm like, all right, guys, come on now. I've had 2 Ryzen CPUs on my motherboard already. I'm waiting for AM5 before I buy my new CPU. Okay. Intel GPUs win Q1 of 2022. It's coming, baby. Yeah, baby. My frame rates should have been stable with my Ryzen 9. Okay. What do you know about the RX 6000 refresh? That may or may not happen. I'm pretty confident in Super. Not as confident in refresh, but it might happen. CPBC Tech says mining cards are fine belly. Never listen to old rumors spread by kids who don't mine or buy mined cards. I bought dozens. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. Mined cards, I've never had any issue. I've bought plenty of mined cards after the 2018 boom. I bought plenty of 1070s and stuff like that. Never an issue. The worst that can happen, the absolute worst that can happen from you buying a mined card is no warranty, which is possible, which sucks. Fans could die from overusing the fans possibly on the GPU, so you might have to replace a fan or two in the future. That's possible. I've had that happen to me once. And they could be either dirty or you might have to replace the thermal paste. But in terms of like the quality of like the GPU is not going to be hurt. The only thing that could happen is if they were run for a very, very, very long time, the fans might go out or something. Or you might need to blow some air through it or something. But it's not, it's nothing. You don't have to worry too much about that. Honestly, if mining cards end up on eBay, it's in your best interest from a gamer's perspective to buy those cards on eBay instead of supporting Nvidia and AMD, who did nothing to stop mining this whole time. Because yes, you're going to be putting money into the hands of miners. They're going to get that money no matter what. Let's be honest here. They're going to get that money no matter what. So I'd rather give my money to them and punish Nvidia and AMD for not doing enough to stop it, and punish them and make their stocks fall and make it so they can't sell their GPUs for months on end. I'd rather punish them and buy it used than to buy a new card, because maybe they'll think twice next time before they release cards that are completely unlocked for mining. If they don't want them to flood the used markets, then stop selling them to miners. There you go. And the only way to teach them is to hit them where it hurts. And how do you do that? Stop buying from them. So, so if you just buy from the used market, they're going to hate that. Sean says the memory is worn out. I don't I mean, how much can you really wear out the memory? I've never seen that happen. Silicon is built to run for a very long time. If it's a semi-new GPU, even if it's been mined on 24/7, no, you don't have to worry about that sort of stuff. Like, you don't... The silicon that's created on these chips is built in a way where it's meant to be run 24/7 for like 10 years straight. You can go back and use an 8800. You can go back from a 1990s GPU and use it today. These things do not wear out per se. It takes them a very, very, very long time. Rod Hester says it's the cycling of hot and cold that kills electronics. The mining cards run at the same temp all the time. Yeah, sort of. It's like the power cycling of the card will actually do more damage to the card than mining, to be honest with you. Like, if you turn your computer off and on all the time, that will actually degrade the lifespan of that GPU more than if you mined on it 24/7. As far as I know from the way silicon behaves. So realistically, if you're someone who's worried about buying mined-on cards, just make sure that you buy it from a place that has buyer protection so that when you get it, it works right away. If it works right away and it has no problems out of the box, it's probably going to work for a very, very long time. So... Sean, you got to give us an example of memory being destroyed on mined on cards, because I've never seen it. I've literally never seen it. I just don't think, I think the amount of time you would have to mine on a card to really degrade the memory, I think it would have to be in the time span of like 5 to 10 years of constant mining. I don't think it's going to be like 1 to 3 years of mining that's going to do that. Do a test nobody has? Well, if the memory was degraded so horribly, you would plug the GPU in and it would start crashing and you'd have all kinds of like stuff on your screen. You don't need to specifically test the memory. You need the memory to do everything with the GPU. So you test the GPU at all and you're testing the memory. If you put the memory clock to plus 1000, then it would degrade pretty fast, a couple years for sure. No, I don't think that's true. To be honest with you, I don't think that's true. I've run so many GPUs with their memory overclocked so high and power cycled them so much. You guys, these GPUs can take a beating, like a serious beating. You can do so much to a GPU before it becomes like degraded in any way. Most mining cards are also undervolted and run at lower clock speeds and stable temps. Yeah, so the way that most miners run their cards is they'll reduce the voltage, they'll reduce the power, they'll reduce the core clock, and they'll overclock the memory. But that memory is running potentially at the same or lower voltage. I don't know how Nvidia, does their voltage. So it's not like you're running extra voltage or power through it, which would be more degrading than extra clock speed. If it was overheating constantly, I could see it getting angry over time, but I've abused the crap out of my GPU 2 in the past, never had one die, yeah. Sean says, hey man, I like you anyway, I'll trust you to tell the truth. The only thing I'd be worried about, like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to mining cards, like, I just don't see it degrading the GPU enough for it to be an issue for you, for someone who holds onto a card for a couple of years. The only thing I'd be worried about is making sure it's good when it arrives. Like, if you plug it in and it works good, it should work good for a long time. Make sure the fans are working good. Check maybe if it needs a repaste of the thermal paste. Sometimes the thermal paste needs repasting after 3 to 5 years of usage, or 2 to 5 years of usage. There's not really, other than the fans dying on a GPU, that's the only thing I've seen. I've had a card that was mined on for a very long time that I bought on eBay where the fan stopped working. That's the worst I've had to deal with. I also had one where I had to replace the thermal paste because the thermal paste wasn't working as well as it used to. That's about it. And you might not get a warranty with it, so that sucks. But that's all I'll say about that. And so I for me personally, I'd rather punish Nvidia and AMD for selling to miners and just not buy their cards, and buy it on the used market if they flood the used market and get a good deal. But if you're someone who doesn't want to deal with a used product, hey, yeah, I get that. That makes sense. There's always risk with buying a used product, someone trying to scam you or something. If cards take a beating like that, why need a warranty? Because some cards have defects in the manufacturing. So it's very important to have a warranty with all the products that you buy, because there's a chance that you could get a faulty card. Something got put on incorrectly, something went wrong, and it blows up or something. Then you need to have some sort of way to warranty that. But if there's been a card that's been in use mining for 2 years, it's probably not going to die. It probably would have died. Now, maybe they didn't test it at super high frame rates in a game, so that could kill a GPU if it was built incorrectly. But a GPU that's been on the used market, you probably have a lower chance of that thing failing than buying a new GPU, because the fact is, it's been working. So otherwise, it wouldn't be on the used market. So to be honest with you, the chances of getting a good working GPU, as long as you're not getting scammed on the used market, are probably even higher than buying a new GPU, in a way, if you think about it that way. But again, there's a higher chance of like the fans failing or something like that. But the GPU itself is probably pretty good. I've tried all other brands, but I don't know why I'm an EVGA fanboy now. They have all been great. I like EVGA's storefront and their warranties and the way they treat their customers. That's a good thing they do. They do sometimes, from time to time, make a big mistake with their GPUs, though, like the 3090 FTW Ultra, and I believe it was like the 1080 or something they had an issue with, too. So they make mistakes here and there, but they usually correct them. And they have a good warranty service. So I do like that. Gamers Nexus Gigabyte power supply tests were epic. Yeah, I remember talking about that like a couple months ago. A couple months before Gamers Nexus did theirs. And I was like, do not buy this power supply. And if you have this power supply right now, do not plug it in. Hold on to it and wait for the inevitable recall. Because this thing is getting a recall. Mark my words. 2 months later, they're doing a recall. So if you had that and you decided to hang on to it, like I said, you're getting a new one now. Even that, I don't know if I trust that new one. Maybe get that new one and then sell the new one. I don't. New one's probably fine, but it's still like this is the same company who didn't know what the heck they were doing. But in any case, guys, we've gone on for a while now, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. Get your last pressing questions in now, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap this stream up. So I'll answer a few more questions here. If you have anything really important you want to get in, go ahead and get it in now. I'll try and answer as many as I can in the next couple minutes here, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Should I risk buying a 1070 Ti after mining for $270? I feel like that's too much money. How do graphics cards produce crypto? I don't get it. Like a super basic way of explaining is they kind of like authorize transactions basically by doing math. There you go. Why do you support scalpers and gougers? Never said I did. I said scalping is really bad. So that's just a false statement. Oh, he said JK. Yeah. I was going to say, I've always been against scalping and gouging. I think it's crappy. I don't like that. In fact, I think like scalping, like purposefully scalping and going into stores and buying out their products should become like literally illegal, and you should get fined for it. It's so screwed up. Rod Hester says, thank you for your time and the content during the week. There will be a new video tomorrow, by the way. Good news. Good news. Do you think the 9900K is overkill for 2080? I mean, maybe. It's a great CPU, though. I love that CPU. That's a good one. I agree with you about the scalpers. If you're concerned about the reliability of buying a mining card, buy one from a seller with many sales and high feedback. There you go. That's a good idea. Always only buy from high feedback people. Do you think mining is BS, or do you think it really makes money? If it doesn't, do you think Nvidia and AMD are involved with mining. Mining makes a lot of money right now. Are they involved with mining? I don't know if they're mining themselves, but I can't say for sure if they're like selling it directly. I have no idea. I have no way of proving that. And so to avoid any legal repercussions, I'm not going to say that they are or aren't. But clearly a lot of cards are somehow making their way into the hands of miners. I don't know if it's through retail. I don't know if it's through distributors. I have no idea where and how they're getting them, but they're getting them by the pallets. So I'll leave that up to you to decide who's selling to who. When will FSR hit more games like Rainbow Six? It should just happen over time. Yeah, we should all short the short crypto. Oh yeah. They probably do short crypto. Places like Nvidia, they probably do. I'm sure they do. I mean, of course, I can't prove that either, but I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see, because it's just like you just know it's gonna fall at certain points. So like, I could see some companies maybe like investing when it's low, selling, and then shorting when it's high. I could see that happening, but I won't point the fingers. LSX, thank you so much for the 2790. He says, what's your opinion on pallet brand RTX 3080 Ti? Way cheaper than the normal RTX 3080 here in Paraguay. I heard they die fast. What do you recommend? It seems like I don't know. I don't want to make any sweeping statements, but the pallet cards I've seen in the past have not been like as great of an like cooler on them, but it might depend from card to card. I think the price is more important. So if you can get one for a good price and it's a pallet card, then buy it would be my recommendation if it's a good price. But in any case, I'll answer one more question here. Thank you guys, everyone, so much for the super chats. I'll answer one more, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up. So do you think 40 series are going to come next year? Yes. Probably next September, potentially as early as middle of 2022, but probably not. So we're probably talking September 2022. But in any case, I think that'll do it for this stream. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. And, of course, I'll see you guys in the next video.